Hey everyone. Today I'm going to talk about why I think the Eternals movie is a great idea for the future of the MCU and where I think the future of the MCU should go. Since Avengers Endgame just hit, basically we can say goodbye to the original cast of the original Avengers. So, yeah. The reason why the lighting's all weird is because I used to film. I usually film my videos when it's day, and I use the sunlight as my main source of light to try and bask my face in light. But that's not gonna work because I'm a lazy asshole, and I just woke up. And it's 9 p.m. and I thought why not make a video on this because my exam just ended. I just watched Endgame yesterday, so yeah. All right, looking back at the MCU, so I think it's safe to say that not a lot of the original Avengers cast has a contract to make more further appearances in more movies because most like the big namers like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. They've had like 9 films in where they appear. I think Nick Fury is the most, Samuel L. Jackson has committed the most when it comes to appearances. I'll have to check the numbers, but the reason why the MC. Okay, so what I think about the Eternals movie is I think at least the people at Marvel, I trust them to make the right decision, and I do think this is the right decision because I think the MCU cannot stand without their original cast because these people and what they do becomes the foundational groundwork for everything that happens, most of the things that happen, and all of the new people, the new Avengers such as Black Panther, Ant-Man, I'll say Scarlet Witch because she's relatively new, Vision, and let's see. Who's a new Avenger? Like Rhodey, like War Machine. These people, Captain Marvel. These people are all okay to decent in their solo movies, but I don't know how they will stand without the original cast because War Machine without Tony Stark isn't much of. He doesn't shine as much. As I like the character, he was still defined as Iron Man's biggest friend. Same goes for Falcon and Bucky. These were characters that were defined by Captain America. They were shaped around Captain America. Now that they're gone, they need to have some sort of arc that they go through, and it would be great if Marvel actually pursues that. For example, in their own solo movies, but I don't think it's gonna be as popular as it would, which I think. So I think that's why they're trying to make all these secondary Avengers into TV: Loki, Falcon and Bucky, Scarlet Witch, WandaVision. I think that's a great move because that means they can continue to develop these characters in their own respective TV shows, media. But the thing is, I don't think they're that important or monetizable enough. I don't think that's a word to bring to the big screen. They tried it with Black Panther. They tried it with Captain Marvel, which were both really good in the respective box office, but I don't know if the people like them as much as being like the main core of the new Avengers. That's why I think that not all of the existing secondary, I hate to call them secondary, but you gotta call them secondary because the primary Avengers are the original Avengers. The new Avengers shouldn't be like, they all shouldn't be the next main team of the new phase of Marvel because it just wouldn't feel as right. When we were introduced to all these characters, okay, here's the thing. We've already had too many movies where these characters make an appearance, and unless they do a new Avengers movie that develops these characters as they develop the characters in the original first Avengers movies, that is Avengers 2012. If they can do that, then that's fine, because characters like Hawkeye or Black Widow, these characters were cameo appearances, and they kind of, slipped into the main Avengers cast. So I think here are a few candidates who I think is going to try. Marvel's going to try and make these people helm the next phase of the MCU, probably as a leader. Captain Marvel. I heard Brie Larson has a contract for many, many, many Marvel movies. So we can expect her to see her. We can expect to see her soon. Spider-Man. Spider-Man, I think, is a worthy successor to Tony Stark, because he is, he's fundamentally different from Stark, but he still has that mind. He's still, a genius, which I think would play well into how the movies portray the new Iron Man that's going to come, because Robert Downey Jr. is definitely going to step down after this movie. Let's see here. Black Panther is also a good runner-up, but I think they need to do something with his personal arc, because as much as the story of Black Panther was great because the villain was great, there wasn't really much for Black Panther himself to do. In fact, spoilers for Black Panther, by the way, I really didn't like the way that he had to get back up. He learns what a leader is, what he has to do as a leader. But I think the conflict has to be a little bit more personal in order to resonate with people's hearts. Because most of these arcs, like the arc that T'Challa goes through, is not something that we go through as individuals in everyday life. So, we're not leaders of a secret country. So, they're gonna have to do something, a conflict that's way more personal than the first Black Panther movie. This is why everyone, like the Guardians, are so loved, because their conflicts are so personal. Between the other Guardians as well. And that's why I think James Gunn is a genius when it comes to creating characters. Their arcs are relatable. These characters are someone that you might be. You might project onto that person. And as the characters grow, you kind of grow as well. And that leaves an emotional mark. And that makes it a great movie. Anyways, who else could mantle it? I think the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, might be able to, but I don't think he's gotten a lot of love recently in the MCU. Let's see here. So this is why I think making a new Eternals movie is a good idea instead of moving on with the new Avengers movies, because they need to start developing a new cast, a new core that can helm this foundation that Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Jeremy Renner, Scarlett Johansson, and Mark Ruffalo has built. Because these guys have built a really strong timeline that has affected nearly every single movie that has been in the MCU. Also Samuel L. Jackson, because he's probably stepping down as well. We might get a new Nick Fury. So this is why I think the Eternals movie is a really great idea, because they need to start developing a new cast of members that people can fall in love with, because they can't just bring in old cast to try and convince people over, because that's gonna get stale, that's gonna get old, and frankly, some of the new cast doesn't have the charisma that the old cast, the old original Avengers, used to have. So we need to, the Marvel needs to find new talent in order to cast for their new Eternals movie. Frankly, I think it's gonna be way more. It's gonna be a half and half, because they already know how to build up a universe now, because they did it successfully with the Avengers. But the thing is there a lot of talent out there? Because when I saw when I saw the name Angelina Jolie cast for asked for Eternals, I was frankly worried, because I really don't know. I mean, it's a good inclusion, but we'll have to see, because I would rather Marvel go out of their way to find these charismatic, these hidden actors that people don't know about, but they can create into this magnificent charismatic force, just like Robert Downey Jr. Frankly, I also didn't know about. Frankly, when I saw the first Avengers, I really didn't know any of the other cast, and I think that was the breakthrough movie when it comes to popularity worldwide. So I wish that Marvel would focus on trying to get talent that is young, preferably. Doesn't have to be young, but it's good if it's young. Hidden, maybe they're talented, but they're not really recognized in society, and in Hollywood. And I wish they'd take more risks when it comes to casting, because with all the James Gunn fiasco, which I want to talk about, by the way, I think that they can't really risk not hiring people because of their background, because that limits the choices to so much. Because let's say that, what if Marvel didn't cast Robert Downey Jr. because he did jail time because of drug abuse? Well, we wouldn't have these 22 movies then, I think. So yeah, that's what I think about the Eternals movies, the new one, and what's going to happen with the new Avengers, like the new generation of Avengers, and why I think that I'll also put that in, why I think the Disney Plus TV shows is a really good idea for Marvel to pursue, while it doesn't look like much of a great idea on paper. So anyways, I just wanted to, put up another video talking about, because I kind of had this in my head. Yeah. Thanks for watching.